Let me see. I probably need to also jump on Facebook today because I have not been on there in a while. Um, yeah, let me just do that. That way I'm on here at on both platforms at the same time. Ooh, my eye is real red. I'm gonna have to go check that out. All right, y'all. Good evening, good evening, good evening. We're just gonna allow a couple of people to come on in the room. Come on in the room. Let me go live on Facebook. Knock this out. Let me see. Can you all hear me? Okay, yeah, y'all can hear me. Hey, aesthetics. How are you this evening? How are you this evening? I know sometimes it takes a moment. So tonight I didn't have a specific topic. I want to go over a topic, but I'm actually going to wait on it because I want you all to see the form. I want to do it on my StreamYard, so that way I could actually show you the form, which was a tax topic. What's today? Wednesday or Tuesday? I don't even know today. Today Wednesday, Lord. Right. So I was supposed to upload this video, but I wanted to do it live so I could show you all regarding that. So then I thought about it and I said, okay, today is Black History Month. Today is Black History Month. This is Black History Month. We only have 2 days left. So one of the things that I noticed today, I kept seeing a whole lot of content and videos regarding our history, right? A lot of what happened, what's in the past. And every time I see some of that stuff, like it just really makes my blood boil, right? And I'm sure it makes a lot of us our blood boil, right? But one of the things that I wanted to ask you tonight, or put the question out there, right, was knowing the history, right, and maybe knowing some of you all. I don't know how many of you all actually talk to your elders, your parents, your grandparents, to actually um find out some of the stuff that they actually went through. I'm so thankful for my grandmother and my grandfather. I just want to say that. May they rest in peace. But I am so thankful for the leadership that I had in my life as an example, especially with my grandmother being a real civil rights leader and activist and fighting for equal pay in this country. She was actually the first African American to fight for equal pay in this country in 1943. So being able to hear her stories and listen to her and sit at her feet and go visit her in Philadelphia, talk to her on the phone, just I miss that now, right? It's been well over 10 years since she's passed. But just having that, right? Having those conversations, to me, is also kind of what helps instill some of us who move forward with certain things in life. Like I know that I get involved in activism. I know that I get involved in speaking up for my community. I know that I get involved with doing community service because of the people that I had in my life, right? My grandparents, my elders. So sometimes when you have that, it allows you to be able to think um more about your community, even though when you really want to just say F your community sometimes, because I ain't gonna lie. Like, prime example, right? Before I got on here, I was watching a video that someone shared on Instagram of Dr. Of Elijah Muhammad, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, right? And Farrakhan. And then he also shared a video of Farrakhan. And I was like, being here in Chicago, seeing what Farrakhan has been saying just these last 10 years, right? It's also, well, how can I say this? Okay, so the clip that I saw was from a Donahue show from, I don't know, let's say this was the 80s, because it looked like it was the 80s, maybe the late 70s, early 80s, right? I was still a kid when Donahue was around. I don't really remember his shows too much, but someone shared a clip on from a Donahue show with Farrakhan on there, right? And every single thing that he is saying from back then still applies to this day. Every single thing, right? So it had me thinking why so many things have not changed. And sometimes I look and I think about how our communities are now to where what they used to be and what they used to look like. And I'm just thinking out loud at this point. But I sometimes wonder what life would be like if we never desegregated. If we never desegregated, because it seems like when we had that separation, which, let's just be clear, in Chicago, we are a very segregated city. Chicago is very segregated, very much so, very much segregated in 2025. We are still a hugely segregated city, right? Which had me thinking earlier when I started seeing a lot more videos, because it's Black History Month. So a lot of people are sharing different videos and different um you know stories, views, history, everything, right? And so it just had me thinking, like, if we have people like Farrakhan, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all of these people, my grandmother, right? You have all of these people who have been fighting for rights, civil rights, for over 50 years, over 40 and 50 years, and we still having a lot of these same conversations today. Now it makes me more question, is it really, is everything really the system, or is it some of us, right? Prime example, everything that's happening right now in the political world, space, and arena, right? Everything that I see online, you have Black people arguing with each other about politics. You have Black people arguing with each other about relationships, men, women, 50-50. We have a lot of arguments, right, on social media presence. But when, as a social media presence, will we see the actual come together, right? For me, my biggest thing in my mental is never to allow anyone to control my life, right? Working in corporate America, having that experience of being let go from a job, that was my first time being fired from a job. Actually, it wasn't my first job. Working at the Avenue, I was let go there. That was a female clothing store, right? But corporate world, that was my first job being let go in the corporate world. And the way that made me feel, I was like, I never ever want to allow anyone to think that they got control of my life. So, but I also knew that I was always going to be an entrepreneur, right? That's the difference. I unlike other people, always knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur. I always knew that I was going to do my own thing, that I was going to build my own. Like, I always knew that. I had just never shared it with a lot of my friends or family members because people just, we just didn't talk about that type of stuff. Or I didn't feel like, people understood where I was coming from back then. But me personally, I always knew this. I knew that, right? I just couldn't share that with my parents at the time because they didn't really get it. But for me now, like seeing how everyone is, riled up about, this whole political thing, DEI, some of this other stuff. I feel like there are there are times to be upset, and then there are times when it's time to like take your control and your power back, right? So some of the people that I see who have these kind of daily conversations, right? You're mad about the political arena, you're mad about DEI, you mad about, whatever else is happening or going on social media that you upset about, right? But I rarely see any change or action in the individual, right? As far as what you're going to do. How are you going to move different? If you're so upset and you're so mad, what are you going to do differently that is going to change things, right? That's always my mindset. If you that upset or you that mad, then what you going to do differently, right? And so I've had that question. I've asked that question more on Facebook because that's usually where you see it at. With everybody mad and upset and in their feelings. But when it's time to actually come to a group meeting